Hi guys, my name's Andy and I'm a retired engineer and I'm also a sort of hobby jeweller, and I got interested in jewellery or making jewellery back in January 2023, and that's one of my sort of design books, and I've now got 3 books. It's April 2024 now, and since I got interested last year, I've made about 60 pieces, and my wife Sophie doesn't wear a lot of jewellery, so I thought, well, what can I do with the things I'm making? And I thought, well, I'll see if I can sell it, and I'm selling my jewellery at the art centre here at Aberystwyth, where I live in the UK. And I put some of my work on Pinterest, not with a view to selling it, but with a view to hopefully inspiring other people to be creative, do something. All my life I've drawn and designed things, and I spent most of my working life designing machines, both electronic circuits and mechanical designs for machines largely used in mass production, but in scientific and industrial applications. And I love to design and to make things. If I'm designing and making, I'm happy. And I'd like to share some of my ideas and thoughts with you. Somebody asked me a comment, I put a comment, I think it was on Pinterest, and they said, can you tell me your design philosophy and how you go about a design? And I thought, well, no, I can't, because it just comes out of my head. I get inspiration from Pinterest and pretty much everything in life. There's, you know, I look at the design of, it may be a piece of furniture, or it may be the motif on the corner of a page in a book, and it inspires me to do something. Give you some idea, this is the last piece that I've just finished this. This is a pendant. I'll put it on a still as well, but this is sterling silver and acrylic, and it's fair to say, that's the back of it, it's fair to say that this is inspired by Leslie Ann McCann, the American studio art jeweller. But I just love this sort of design. So I've got several pieces like this, but I've made these things like this, and they have sold. Now, I'm not a professional jeweller. I don't profess to be a professional jeweller. The things that I show you are things that I've made with designs out of my head, and I've done it largely my way. So I haven't been to a jewellery school in my life. I haven't been to a design school or anything like that. So what I've learned about jewellery, or jewellery making, I've learned from the internet. As a single source of knowledge, the best one I've found is Greg Greenwood. So if you look on YouTube for Greg Greenwood jewellery. The second sort of thing that I've just finished, and again I'll show you these in stills form. These are little earrings. I say I'll put them on a still on the other side of the screen. And these are mixed metal with reticulated silver on copper, bit of detail on the back, and then these 3 little balls, and I can show you the design of those. A little pair of earrings that I made on the 8th of March Again, I'll show you that on a still, and they sold very quickly. Okay, one of the principal things I want to do in this video is go through how I come up with a design. I was up at 3:30 this morning doing a little design for something, and I'll take you through that. Because of time constraints with my software, of all things, I may not be able to get a very long video produced, in which case I may have to take this over to a second episode, as it were. But let's say, please comment on the video. I'm not setting out to sell anything on here. All I want to do is inspire other people, and if that happens, that's great. With regards to what I sell, I don't make any money out of that, but effectively somebody else is paying for my hobby. When you sell through an agent like the Art Centre, you are only going to get about 60% of the ticket price. And again, I will go through prices in my experience, and hopefully that will help people. About 20 years ago, I bought these. They're marked up high-grade gemstones, factory offcuts, and they cost me £5. And I've probably had them for 20 years. And there's all sorts in here, nothing desperately exciting, but they're uncut, unpolished in any way. But if you get some of these wet, then suddenly they come to life, and that I think is what they're going to look like when they're polished. These are two pieces that I've sort of pre-selected to do something with. I'm not quite sure what the material is, but I'm going to use them in some sort of design, and I'm going to focus on this one. Let's say somebody asked how I come up with a design, and what I'm going to do is talk you through how I come to design a piece of jewellery that would incorporate this. And I do expect it to sell. Say I'm not a professional, but people seem to like what I'm making. You know, it may just be that they like work from local artists when they come to the seaside. But anyway, I'll take you through, and hopefully, so long as I don't break this stone when I polish it, which I've never done before, and I'm not saying I've never broken anything before, I've never polished a stone before, so that's new. Just because I haven't done it doesn't mean to say I'm not going to try it. So that's a glimpse of what I'm setting out to do. In this first image, I got the stone on the left. It just didn't look right with the stone on the right of the central spine. I've drawn out an outline of the stone on the right hand side, just so as I can see how big to make the piece to make it look balanced. I'll arrange to have the stone set about 1.5 millimeters away from the central spine. I like the idea of having a D-shaped body to this right hand side. I'll have the D wire flush with the central spine. I started to think about how I would hold the stone and how I would set the claws, and I originally had the wires for the claw in front of that central spine, but I realised that that would throw the spine further back, and I didn't want that. So now I've rubbed that out and put the claws behind the spine, so the spine is along the side of the stone. I wanted this wire that I'm pointing at to sit in front of the spine. Having got this far, I realised that the D wire was making the lollipops, I'll call them, look a little bit crowded, and I didn't want to extend the lollipops to the right, as that would unbalance, visually unbalance the piece. So I rubbed out the D piece and redrew it closer to the main spine. It looks a little bit more balanced to me. The lollipop heads aren't crowded, and equally they're not over long. I realise that the most vulnerable part of the piece will be this very narrow part of the stone at the bottom. So I'll protect that with a claw, and there'll be a spacer between the back of the stone and the spine. In places I will fit silver spacers that will be soldered in place and will space the stone from the spine, and again offer a level of protection, but they won't all be claws. Now we're looking at a layout sketch, and the red dot indicates where I shall fit what I call a shaped claw. This is a claw that will hold the stone down, but it'll be a little bit different to what you might normally expect to see. Again, I shall make the same shaped claw, or similar shaped claw, for the bottom part of the stone, again indicated in red. This is approximately what the claw will look like. The idea is I can shape something before actually fitting the stone, and that'll become a little more clear what I'm intended to do during the construction. I've probably spent, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours over the design and planning the construction of this piece, but I enjoy doing that. Hopefully these sketches give you some sort of insight into the way I think about a design. I don't think I shall change much, if anything. I might make these these lollipops that I've got shown in yellow, which would be kombu gold. I may actually make those into rings or loops. I'll think on a bit more about that. So this is how the plan has finally shaped up, and if I get into trouble with this and I wind up breaking the stone, then plan B is to maybe use some acrylic. I've got all sorts of things to play with here. Hope that doesn't happen. Anyway, thanks for looking in, guys, and if this is of interest to you, then if you subscribe, you'll be sure to get the second part or ongoing parts of the construction of this little pendant. All the very best. Bye bye.